You can now get a factory lift kit on the Tacoma for pretty cheap, and so let's find out if this is worth getting on your new Tacoma. I'll include a link to the Toyota Murray's website in the description down below. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get right into it. So first off, the truck that we have is a Tier D off-road non-hybrid. You can get this on the hybrid, you can get this on the premium. I haven't seen this lift kit on anything but the Tier D off-road. I need to play with the configurator to see if you can get it on other packages. But so far I've only seen it on, like I said, Tier D off-road. So it doesn't look quite as dorky as the Tundras you see with the lift kit, because you've got the Tier D wheels and you've got the all-terrain tires that come with the Tier D off-road. Now the lift kit itself is a 2.5-inch suspension lift. And you can see the red shocks that come with this kit too. The shocks that you normally see on the Tier D off-road are the blue Bilstein. Now depending on how big you go with the tires, you might have to do a little bit of cutting, but regardless, the lift kit will allow for a little bit more tire fitment. Right now with the stock setup, you can do like 34s. With this lift kit, you could probably do 35s. I don't think 37s would fit though, sadly. But don't quote me on that. Either way, it definitely gives the Tacoma a more aggressive stance compared to stock. Again, 2.5 inches on a truck does quite a bit. And I do quickly show you guys the interior on this. Again, this is a baseline Tacoma, so you got the cloth interior. This one has the smaller screen. Got that seam set up in the center. Now, it's still Tier D off-road, so it still has multi-terrain select, rear diff lock, 2-speed transfer case. But again, this is just more of a basic setup inside. So the base price of this truck is $42,900. Now, this does have the Tier D off-road upgrade package added to it, so it does have a few amenities added. The suspension lift is a standalone option at $3,400. So the total MSRP on this is $53,589. Now you add some beefier tires to this and you could have a much more aggressive look compared to a Tier D Pro at a significantly lower cost. Let's see how this setup performs. Well, let's set off in this Tacoma that has no fuel. Oh, buddy. That is my luck today. And it's also hot. What's the temperature reading now? Am I blind? 2 miles. I don't see anything that says temperature. It's hot. I bet it's over 100 now. Feels like it. And those of you that live in other states, you have to understand 100 degrees is just different depending where you're at. Utah, I mean, this is like over 4,000 feet above sea level. So not very humid, but the sun, like if you're in the shade, it's great. Like in a humid place, you're in the shade and you're still suffering. Here it's fine, but when you're in the sun, it just cooks you. Absolutely, like you're literally getting cooked alive. It's uncomfortable. Now, factory lift kit, 2.5 inches. I find it interesting that Toyota went so aggressive with their factory lift kits in terms of the height. Like when I think of a factory lift kit, I would think that, especially considering these vehicles, these Toyotas have independent front suspension, I would think that, sorry, the GoPro's falling off. There we go. I would think they would have gone for like, oh, there you go, 104 degrees. You know, a 1.5 inch, maybe 2 inch, but 2.5 on the Tacoma, 3 inch on the Tundra. They went aggressive. They definitely went aggressive, which is interesting to see. Now, this is a non-hybrid. The tires are still stock size. But, you know, it performs well. It's got more than enough power. If you want really good acceleration, yeah, you're gonna get the hybrid. That low end torque, especially if you upsize the tires, you know, you go to 34s, for example, you're gonna want the hybrid power to move those bigger tires. It makes a substantial difference. So that's kind of the way to go on that one. The ride's pretty nice, I will say. It's not quite as comfortable as stock, but you don't really concede much. And that's one thing I do like about factory lifts and factory modifications in general is, you know, people always think that aftermarket's better. And don't get me wrong, aftermarket companies, I think, can do a very good job. But they just, and money isn't everything, but still, they don't have the funding. Like, you look at an aftermarket company and, you know, they're going to do the math. They're going to say, okay, well, this many Tacomas are going to be produced, and this many people are going to lift their Tacomas, so we'll sell this many lift kits, so we can put this much into research and development. Whereas a manufacturer like Toyota, you know, obviously they're going to be doing some of that math too, but at the same time, they're, you know, manufacturers lose money on projects all the time, whereas an aftermarket company can't afford to do that or they go out of business. So Toyota is like, okay, they probably threw, I mean, who knows how much money went into these lift kits. It was probably millions of dollars. That, again, most aftermarket companies don't have that kind of funding ability. So your end result is typically a lot better. And I will say, I mean, this for a 2.5-inch lift, this drives pretty well. Stock tires. This is a very nice setup. Seems to handle pretty well too. You are going to get more, I mean, regardless, you're going to get more body roll and everything. But this is a nice drive. And if you keep these stock wheels, 18-inch, I think, wait, no, this is probably 17-inch, because this is a non-hybrid. I'll have to double check. By the way, 17 or 18-inch, you keep the wheels this size and you put bigger tires, you'll have a real, this already has all-terrain tires, so you already have that, you know, digging into the pavement here and there. But yeah, you do that and you'll have a really comfortable ride. Very, very comfortable ride. All that sidewall. And my recommendation, based on what I do with my Land Cruiser, I think the best size for these new Toyotas is two tire sizes. Well, 3. Pizza cutters are like the best if you're, you know, willing to spend the extra money that those cost, because they're kind of harder to find, so a little bit more expensive. So it's like a 255mm width. If you want a more simple tire to find that's, you know, not going to be as good with the performance because it's heavier, 285 by 70 by 18 or 285 by 75 by 18. The first one's almost a 34, the second one's almost a 35. Those tires fit well with the new Toyotas, with the wheels. You don't have a crazy amount of tire poke. It's pretty reasonable. And you'll get tons of clearance. They look great. And those will still, if you get a lighter all-terrain rather than a heavier all-terrain, those seem to perform well with Toyota's new turbo powertrain. They seem to be able to handle everything. So that's kind of the setup that I'd go for this. And you can fit that on a stock Tacoma is the thing. You don't have to lift it. You can fit the tire's almost a 35. Those you'll have to do some cutting. But the 34, the 285 by 70 by 18. You don't need to do any cutting. You might rub a little bit, but like full lock and reverse, that's no big deal. But that'll be a great setup. That looks great. I love the look. I had it on my Land Cruiser before I sold it, just for the final testing. Did great off-road, on-road. It did really well. My fuel economy did go down a little bit compared to the Pizza Cutter 33s. So, and those Pizza Cutter 33s were heavy. They were Nittos. Let me know your thoughts on the factory lift. I think it drives really well. Everything's nice, and the fact you get a warranty, I think, is great. You've got that peace of mind that you aren't going to get with an aftermarket kit. I mean, some aftermarket companies offer warranty, but then you're dealing with 2 different warranties. And that's the thing that you also have to understand, 2 different warranties. Like this, you have a suspension problem, you take it into one place. Whereas if you have a lifted vehicle aftermarket, you have an issue, first you probably take it into the dealership and then they go, oh, it's the aftermarket lift. Well, then you got to take it into a shop that then has the warranty for the suspension lift, if it has a warranty at all. That's a lot more legwork. That's a lot more brain damage, as they say. So I don't think it's worth it. Let me know your thoughts.